Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. Before we start, make sure to subscribe if you are not and give a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Hello guys, welcome to this week's video, where I will be showing all of my Camponotus queens and colonies and update you on what I'm keeping right now. But before we do that, I want to give you a 1 week update since my last video about the weaver and queen. And so let's start. It's a quick update. So here we have our first queen, and you can see that actually she didn't use the leaf and she left the brood on the test tube, on the plastic. So this leaf has dried out and I'm not going to attempt to change it, so it's going to keep like this. But as you can see, a big size increase for 1 week period. The room temperature right now should be around 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. The second queen, and now I'm going to show you a macro view. And last week I got a comment, I don't remember if on YouTube or Reddit, but someone asked if they could keep these queens in the tubes without any leaves. Well, the answer of course is yes. So that brings up another question, which is, so why do I do it? And the reason is, I think the queens appreciate the leaf, the texture, the scent, and also it makes it easier for me to do these rehousings. And because they, as you can see here, they just stick to the scent of their nest, so it becomes easier to change them from place to place according to my needs. And the purpose is that of course I want these queens to go in on real trees and not stay in test tubes. So once they get the first workers and the second batch of larvae, I'm hoping that this process can make it easier for them to be rehoused in those plants. If I just left them in the test tubes, it would be very complicated, or at least harder, to try to convince them to move out from the tube. Because in the first months, they like to stay inside their original nest because they feel vulnerable. But of course, because we all like to see weaver ants in their natural environment, which is on the trees and on the leaves, I rather use this method, even if I have to keep changing the leaves and the nest from time to time. But I think it works. So, and this is another topic I would like to talk about, which is experimentation. I think everybody should try their own methods. What works for them might not work for others. And of course, but the most important part is to have fun and try out new things. Sometimes there are limitations, of course, because if you are in Europe and you acquire one of these queens, of course and they were expensive, you don't want to experiment too much on them. You just want to be successful. So I think also when you see these videos, everybody's trying to learn from each other and see what are the best methods that work for a successful founding period. So to avoid money losses, and disappointments. So this week, enough of weaver ants. We will probably just see them, I think, in 1 month time. So right now we move on to the Camponotus colonies, the carpenter ants that I'm keeping in my house. So let me start with the best. I have never kept this species before, and this year was the only and the first time I ever heard about them. They are called Camponotus angusticollis, and before they were called, or they belonged to the Dinomyrmex family, and not family, the genus. And you might heard about Dinomyrmex gigas, the largest ant species in the world. Well, these are also monsters, and sorry about moving the camera, but I have to do this. I'll try to show you. These are centimeters, and these queens are around 2 point something centimeters. I wish I could turn the ruler around, but I really cannot. The space is too tight. And I think I'll just put a picture of the length measurement I did before. So I have 2 queens. These things are absolutely gigantic. And they both have eggs, which are there. They're quite they're blending quite nicely with the substrate. And I got them, I think, 10 days ago. So I'm keeping them in these small formicariums with a water reservoir, and they seem to be doing fine. The growth of the brood has been quite slow. I've noticed that a few eggs have hatched into larvae, but the larvae don't seem to pick up size too fast, as in comparison to other Camponotus or smaller Camponotus species that I have. So, yeah, 2 of my new acquisitions. These things are monsters. I'm very happy to keep them. I don't think they are very well known, researched, or commonly kept in the ant keeping hobby. Most of you will also probably never even have heard about their existence. Let me also put some macro photos and whatever I can to make up for the lack of video quality. And yeah, let's move on to the next species. This second species, this second colony, is Camponotus lianghuang from China. And they have this amazing golden coloration. I think these ants are absolutely stunning. I just wish I could have a little bit more light, but again, I'll try to compensate by putting some of my older macro photos. You can also read a little bit about them on my site. I did a post about them. They have been doing absolutely amazing. Tons of light colored workers. This queen is fantastic. No idea why, but they decided to bring a cockroach corpse inside the tube, which is always awesome. And while they're trying to escape, let me just give them a drop of honey to see if I can get some to come and drink so I can get a better recording. This is another species that normally is not very well known in the Western, especially European markets. They don't tend to get there. Also, not every year there are queens or colonies for sale. I would say that only like once every 3 or 4 years can the local Chinese keepers come across some queens. So yeah. Moving on to the next one. Third colony. This is not a Carpenter Ant Colony, but I decided to include it either way. This is a Colobopsis leonardi colony. You can see that the queen has a big dent, a huge damage on her ergaster, but this doesn't stop her from laying a ton of eggs and having a good amount of brood. These are small, voracious ants, and I'm sorry, once again, the lighting is not great. Although under this light they might look black, but they have some yellow tones due to some hairs. Unfortunately, these workers are really fast. I haven't been able to take photos of them properly. I did manage to take some good macro photos of some queens before, which I will put up in the video. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying. The particularity about this species or this genus is that before they did belong to the Carpenter Ant family, the Camponotus family, but the difference is that they actually don't have a cocoon pupae. They only have naked pupae, which I think at this moment I don't have any, or I should have one in like changing, but so yeah, it's quite interesting in everything related to Camponotus, but with that difference. And these ants are commonly known as the cork-head ants, and I think you can see that this queen head is quite flattened in the front. I don't have any major workers yet. They should be like any other species of cork-head ants. They should reflect this characteristic much better than the minor workers and even the queen. So I'm excited for this colony. They have been doing great and eating a lot. Honey, water, the occasional roach. So yes, let's move on to another colony, another species. This is a very special species for me. This species doesn't have actually a Latin name, at least that I'm aware of. In China they are called tiger stripe ants, or also Baice, I don't know what it means, like 1,000 colors, something like that. I think because of their stripes on their gasters. This was, I think, back in 2014 or 15. This was the first carpenter ant species that I've tried to keep while I was still a complete beginner, giving my first steps in the ant keeping world. I haven't kept... Oh, fantastic! Why not drink the poop, the royal poop? That seems pretty awesome. Especially to be recorded on video for YouTube, for everybody to see for eternity. Well done there. And this is the second time I've had in my possession a colony. Of course, the first time I failed tremendously because I didn't know what I was doing. And let's see how I do this time. Hopefully, after so many years of keeping ants, I'll do better this time. I have been waiting months to get this colony. Literally. The minor workers don't have so many stripes as a queen or the majors. I haven't had the opportunity to take pictures yet. I hope to do so soon and show you all their amazing patterns. Of course, I'll put this in Reddit and Instagram for you guys to see. And finally, last but not least, the fantastic Camponotus lighti colony. And here it is, the Forento wood nest that was shown in the National Geographic Ant Keeping article, which I had the great opportunity to have my photo featuring there as the front photo for the article. You can see the queen here in the middle. Sorry, this is actually the only way I have to show you how the colony is doing, because I cannot take it out at this moment. I need to do something about it. I need to find another setup, a larger box without this stupid powder barrier tons of brood. This year they already had some lights, queens and males for the first time. This was the first year they produced males. All the lights that I managed to capture were released back into the wild. Try to do their role, and there goes the queen. And the reason why I cannot take this nest is actually they have been carving it out, and they have now multiple entrances and chambers inside, which can give access to the nest beside the normal entry points that they have from the initial layout. So yeah, the final species and the local one, the one I hope to have in display once COVID disappears, or not, we never know. Alright guys, this is it for this week's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Maybe you have some suggestions for me. And thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and your support. See you next week. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers.